Hello, we are going to be making the Pear project today. And so I want you to get out your 5th grade art toolkit, pull out the paper, and you're going to be looking for, there should be a set of about 3 white pieces of paper. And notice how they're all different sizes. So this one, we want the one that is the largest in the back. So I've written my first and my last name, and then you need to write your in-person teacher. So that might not be the same person. It's probably not the same person as your remote teacher, but include both of those on your back of your paper. Okay, then we flip it over and we'll begin the lesson. I want you to pull out of your art toolkit the bag that's inside with all of the actual fun supplies, and I want you to pull out your soft pastels. And the first step we're going to do is we're going to make like a frowny face, about 3 fingers down from the top, about that big. And then we're going to go about 2 fingers from the bottom, and you're going to make a really large smiley face. This is the bottom of the pear. And what's good is it's chalk. If you don't like the look of it, you can just brush it off and it goes away. Okay, and then at this point, you're gonna wanna connect from this frowny point to that smiley point. And the thing about a pear is that it's curved, and so you're not gonna do a straight line. You're gonna kind of curve it in and then out. Okay, same thing on this side, from this frowny point to this smiley face point. Remember, you're gonna curve it in and go out. And again, if you maybe don't like the exact look of it, you can sort of erase it. Okay, so there's our beginning pear shape, and then we need to put a table in that the pear would be sitting on. So I'm going to choose put a straight line in right there. You're going to jump over your pear and continue that table line on the other side. We're going to choose your yellow color, and I want you to go ahead and fill in yellow on the inside of the pear. Okay, at this point, I'd like you to grab, you should have 2 different colors of green in your soft pastels. I'd like you to grab first your darker green. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be adding in the darker shadow at the bottom here. And so you're going to start with a dark green line right along the edge, and then you're going to add in some of the lighter green line. Okay, and then after that, what I want you to do is take your finger, and I want you to do kind of curved to make it feel like the pear is curved. You're going to do some wispy brushes where you're blending in the darker green into the lighter green into the yellow. Okay, I'm going to take the light green and we're going to continue that up the neck of this side of the pear, just the light green. And then you're going to pull that in as well into the yellow parts of the pear. If you need to add a little bit more yellow in, feel free if you don't have it all the way covered, but you can blend it with your fingers. Try to not have a hard line like I do just there. So if you need to, work over it again, okay? Okay, next, I want you to grab your brown, your red, and your orange. First step, the brown. You're going to kind of do the same thing that you did here with the darker green and the lighter green, and you're going to do it with brown. So you're going to follow along this side with a brown line. Okay, then you're going to grab some of the red and add that in next. And what you can do with the red as well is continue on up, not as heavy, you can continue on up this side of the pear. Okay, from there, I'd like you to add in some orange. And this part, I want you to fill in more with orange. You might even continue some of it down here. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing where we're blending the dark into the light. And getting a nice, remember to keep it curved feeling. And notice I have a white spot there, so I'm going to add some more of the yellow in here so that it's all covered. And so make sure that the middle area is covered with that yellow. And then again, have that orange in between. If you need to put in a little bit more of the red, you can. But you're going to blend it in with your finger. And again, up to the top here as you blend it. And there's your pear. And again, if you think you need to add some other colors, add them in, and then you are done with this portion. Okay, at this point I need to add in some highlights, and I'm going to use my white. And I'm going to add in a highlight about here, and a highlight somewhere up here, okay? And then again, if you'd like to, you can kind of frame it with some of your yellow color and blend it. But this time we're going to blend out from that white spot. Make sure your finger's clean. So, all right, next step, we're going to do the background area. And for the background, I think I'm going to use some of the colors that I haven't used yet, and you can choose whatever you'd like. We haven't used pink, blue, light blue, dark blue, or purple, so it's up to you. You don't have to choose the same color that I choose. I'm going to do a blue for the background, and I'm going to follow along my outline of my pear. Okay, and something to make this interesting, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mixture of the dark and the light blue. And so if you turn your soft pastel sideways, you're going to get better coverage. It won't take you as long to cover the area up. So be careful not to get the pear. I did that with one color, and then I'm going to do the same with my other blue. I'm going to just add in some diagonal extra colors. Try to choose two colors here if you need to, and then you can just fill it in by smudging it with your finger. Okay, so you've got this background wall area done. You might smudge a little bit more directly along the line of the pear, as if your finger were the pencil. Okay. All right. At this point, I need a table color, so I'm going to choose my pink and my purple as my table color. Again, you're going to want to follow the table line and carefully outline where your pear sits. Once I've completed that outline, then again, to go a little bit quicker, you just put it on the side and go sideways and fill it in. And again, like you did the top, use the second color. I'm going to choose pink and add in another color. Take your finger and smudge. And also you can follow right along that pear line to make sure that you keep that line crisp. Okay, so there we are. And what you might want to do at this point, remember we've got the light spots coming in from this side, so that would mean there would be a bit of a shadow over here. So you might add back in that darker table color to make it appear like a shadow. You could even take your darker blue if you needed to pull in that shadow color. And again, you can smudge away. Now we need the stem of the pear. So we will grab our brown again. Remember the stem is a curved line. So don't draw it necessarily straight up and down. And it doesn't start right at the tippy top. It's going to start on the kind of down here on the inside of the pear. So you're going to flick it up to the side just like that. If you need to, do it one more time to make it a little bit more prominent. And then you're going to make kind of an indent in the pear. And you're going to stop. And then you're going to take your white again and you're going to put it along the tip of that brown pear stem. If you need to, go back again with the brown until you are at a point that you really like it. You know, I really want to highlight the edges of the pears a little bit more, so I'm going to go back over this part with that darker brown just to make sure that you see the border of the pear with the table. Don't blow because it's going to go everywhere, okay? And then again with the neck of that side of the pear, I want it to be more of the reddish hue, so if you want a little more definition, go ahead and add those colors back in. Like, remember we did the light green up in this section and the darker green down in this one. And it really kind of sets the pear apart from the table and the background. So if you feel like it needs that, go for it. I think I'm gonna add a little more of the orange in here just because I really like it. Don't forget, I think I just got rid of my white highlight. But the good thing about soft pastels is that they're very forgiving. And if you want to do some adjustments, you can. And like, my finger was dirty, so if you need to go back over with that other color, you can. Done. At this point, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and collect all your soft pastels, put them back in the bag, and then zip it up, put it back inside this bag, zip that up, put it back inside the bigger bag. And then you're going to need to tap, tap, tap to get all this excess chalk off. So you'll go like that and it comes off. And then you're going to set it aside. That's your done project. And then I'm going to get a wet paper towel. So everyone go get a paper towel, get it wet, and come back. Okay, I'm back. I got my, it's a wet paper towel, but it's just damp. It's not like dripping wet, obviously. And I want you to just wipe off. You're going to be using this kind of waxy brown paper every single project. So wipe it off. So that way it'll be ready for the next time you have to use it for your art projects. This you're using again, so fold it on up. It should not be like super, I mean, it's dry at this point. So fold it back up and put it back inside your art toolkit.